Um, all right, hello everybody. My name is Barrett Jensen. I'm a senior here at Liberty. Today I'm gonna be talking to you guys about maintenance. So the main thing I found between those four companies that I had to research was kind of how they choose to contract themselves out. I guess like some of them are paid by the hour, others are annually maintenance teams. Like they'll sign up for a company and they'll be there on that team annually. And others will just be kind of like a pay by the hour. If you have a problem, come to us with it. We'll get it done. So ESP was one of those companies. They're pay by the hour, and then the Honeywell, they're more of a annual type coverage team. Like they'll be signed on to your squad and cover maintenance annually. And then JSSI is another kind of like ESP, and Camp is also like Honeywell, where JSSI is pay by the hour. They're a third party organization. You come to us if you have a problem with something, and we'll get it done and get you back out there. And Camp is annually, so they kind of take on more of a role than just maintenance. That was a big difference that I saw between them and the other three, is that they will come onto your aviation business team and not only handle the maintenance side, but they'll handle things like inventory and flight scheduling as well. So that was kind of a pretty cool thing to learn about Camp. And then some more differences. Camp is one of the only maintenance programs that is sponsored by OEMs. So businesses like Airbus, Textron, Boeing. So I thought that was pretty cool that they're one of the only maintenance, or one of the only one out of the four that actually is sponsored by those big companies. And Camp also provides engine healthcare monitoring for two of the four other maintenance programs, like Honeywell and Pratt and Whitney in Canada. So it seems like Camp kind of almost is getting close to having a monopoly over these four maintenance programs. They're pretty involved, it seems like, in the aviation business world more than the other four. And then ESP, they have different levels to their pay by the hour kind of thing. So it's not just like come to us with a problem and it's going to be the same rate as if you had an engine overhaul versus oil problems. They have different rates for that. So that was kind of cool to see that those pay by the hour type of maintenance programs, they kind of have different rates for different set of issues. And then Camp and the annual side of the maintenance programs, they kind of have that contract where, okay, you sign us onto your team and it'll make annual costs a lot less expensive for maintenance, while the pay by the hour is, that if you have a problem now, come to us. Might be a little bit pricey, but they'll get it done pretty quickly. So the topic I wanted to talk about out of the textbook this week was record keeping for maintenance. I think that's one of the most important aspects of maintenance, but also one of the most overlooked. There's been a few, like when I took aviation safety, there were a few crashes throughout aviation history that occurred because the maintenance team just didn't log something, or overlooked a problem, didn't log it in the logbook, and it ended up biting them in the butt a couple hours later, or like a couple flights down the road. So I think record keeping is super important. ICAO and the FAA, they have so many regulations for record keeping. You have to have a certain amount of inspections. You have to record all the maintenance that you do, the issues that were addressed, the issues that are fixed. And at the end of the day, it's the owner operator's responsibility to keep those record books up to date and make sure everything is in airworthy condition. So that's a big deal going into aviation business, especially if you're looking to own an aircraft. You cannot overlook record keeping, because that is one of the biggest parts that can keep an aircraft safe for flight, an aircraft in airworthy condition. And the PIC is going to be looking at that stuff to make sure the airplane is safe for flight. So you want him to have all the available information accessible towards that flight. Yeah. And then the Bible verse that I chose today was Hebrews chapter 12, verse 11. And it reads, "No discipline seems pleasant at the time, but painful. Later on, however, it produces a harvest of righteousness and peace for those who have been trained by it." And I chose this because it kind of goes hand in hand with maintenance this week. Because, like I said, with the record keeping, it might seem like a pain in the butt at the time. just to, mark down one little problem that may be wrong with the aircraft, like maybe one screw out of the engine cowling is loose or something like that. But having that discipline to take care of what you need to do in the moment is going to produce a harvest later on that will keep everyone safe and keep everyone, I guess, held accountable. Yeah, I think this Bible verse greatly relates to record keeping in general and maintenance in general for sure. So thank you guys. That's my